There once was a nation, born from deserts and discipline. Its people were descendants of a time when balance was paramount, between means and dreams, between work and worth. They understood the quiet dignity of living within their truth. But as generations passed, a new gospel began to spread through the land. It whispered of a different path, a quicker ascent to perceived greatness. If you cannot afford it, wear it anyway, the voices urged. Dress rich, live loud, borrow heavy, appear great, and greatness will surely follow. This became the new wisdom. Fake it till you make it. Shops overflowed with luxuries offered on borrowed credit, enticing all who passed. Schools began to teach style and presentation before substance or skill. Caravans boasted shimmering silks, while the very homes of their owners quietly crumbled. Everyone wore a smile, a mask of prosperity, yet everyone carried a burden of debt. And behind every polished facade, a silent fear gnawed. What if they find out I have nothing? To sustain this grand illusion, the banks of mirage were established. Their ruler, Zafar the lender, became the richest man the country had ever known. He created gold from mere promises, conjuring wealth from nothing but future expectations. He charged interest on items not yet built, for futures not yet lived. For a time, his system seemed to work flawlessly. The city gleamed with borrowed splendor, and fashion thrived. Even the beggars, it was said, wore borrowed silk. But interest, like a relentless rust, never sleeps. It silently corroded the foundations of their prosperity. Zafar began to notice a strange emptiness. The numbers on his ledgers, billions and trillions, no longer held any meaning. He had more wealth than any man could ever use, yet the food on his table tasted no better. His vast lands stretched wide, but he walked them utterly alone. Even the rich, he discovered, were prisoners of the very lie they had helped to create. Then came the inevitable, the day of the 10th zero. One morning, a simple loaf of bread cost 10 million mirage coins. Market vendors, once proud, now simply laughed at the absurdity. A child was seen playing with a wheelbarrow full of cash, finding it cheaper than buying a wooden toy. One by one, the people stopped caring about the numbers, not out of anger, but from a profound, weary exhaustion. What does it matter, they sighed, if I earn 1,000 or 1 billion? Nothing buys anything anymore. Even Zafar, surrounded by his towering palace of ledgers, finally whispered a truth he could no longer deny. I kept adding zeros, hoping to find worth, but I only multiplied emptiness. In the quiet ruin of the once shining capital, an elder wrote on a clay wall. It was a forgotten voice, a wisdom from a simpler time. Spread your legs according to the length of your blanket. This was the teaching of the Peshwa of Persia. The people remembered. They began again, this time slower, this time smaller. They traded labor for bread, cultivating shared gardens for sustenance. They dressed in what they could genuinely afford, and to their surprise, they found they didn't miss the old illusions. Zafar himself, in a profound act of liberation, burned the great ledger in the central square. He watched as the paper curled to ash, and for the first time, he smiled without the heavy burden of debt in his chest. Faking wealth may win fleeting applause, but it can never truly buy peace. Credit built solely on appearances is nothing more than a desperate race toward emptiness. Interest feeds voraciously on illusion, until even the lenders themselves are bankrupt of true meaning. Let the world remember this simple truth: the more zeros you chase, the further you run from genuine value.